We'll be talking to her in a little bit, but I hope you have a good night. Thanks so much, Chris.
Thanks. I look forward to that interview. Thanks a lot.
All right. So today, Trump had yet another completely bizarre meeting with his cabinet. And during that meeting, he claimed that, quote, a lot of people say, he loves to say that. That's one of his favorite things. Now, he said a lot of people say, in this case, that they want him to be a dictator.
So the line is that I'm a dictator, but I stop crime. So a lot of people say, you know, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator. But I'm not a dictator. Most people say, if you call him a dictator, that if he stops crime, he can be whatever he wants. I'm not a dictator, by the way.
I mean, first of all, Donald Trump is not stopping crime. That's definitely not what he's doing. Second, if you have to keep telling people you aren't a dictator, maybe your actions are getting a little dictatory, I think. I mean, this is actually the second day in a row that Trump is claiming that, quote, a lot of people are saying they want a dictator. I don't know about you, but I don't know any of those people. In fact, I have to imagine that the group of people that want Trump to be a dictator is actually pretty small, even people who support him. But that must be hard for Trump to understand because some of the people in that incredibly small group happen to work for him, it seems. I mean, Trump has surrounded himself with people who already treat him like a dictator. And I was going to try to describe for you just how sycophantic this cabinet meeting today was. How much it would make North Korean leader like Kim Jong-un or Russian President Putin blush. But my attempt to summarize this meeting, just no matter how hard I tried, just could simply not do it justice. And this is one of those things you really have to see for yourself.
As we approach Labor Day weekend here, this is just such a great opportunity really to recognize your leadership as a true champion for working people.
Everyone knows there's no stronger advocate for hardworking American families than you, sir.
Mr. President, it's pretty great to celebrate Labor Day with a builder who loves labor.
Mr. President, I invite you to see your big, beautiful face on a banner in front of the Department of Labor, because you are really the transformational president of the American worker.
The average family and individual that lives in this country is safer than they've been in years because of what you've done.
Our country has never been so secure thanks to you.
You have breathed life back into the profession of law enforcement.
Your tireless campaign and your relentless messaging made people realize the American dream isn't dead. It's just been smothered, and we're unsmothering it and setting it loose.
You have brought us back from the edge. You have the overwhelming mandate from the American people. You're restoring confidence in government.
All the industries that have been killed in this country are coming back to life because of you. You are going to save the whales on the East Coast.
Thank you for saving college football, by the way. We're all very grateful.
This is the greatest cabinet working for the greatest president.
What we are accomplishing now, again, wouldn't be possible if not for your leadership.
God bless your assembly of this team around this table. We're bringing the American dream back.
I do believe we're in a revolution. 1776 was the first one. 1863 or so with Abraham Lincoln was the second. This is the third, with Donald Trump leading the way.
There's only one thing I wish for, that noble committee finally gets its act together and realizes that you are the single finest candidate since the Nobel Peace, this Nobel Award was ever talked about, to receive that award.
I mean, what did I tell you? I really couldn't summarize that. The man, according to his cabinet, is starting revolutions, saving whales, apparently, and apparently he's saving college football. I can't explain that one at all. How could the man not be given a Nobel Peace Prize? How could he not? I mean, either someone scripted all of that fawning praise for Trump, and maybe they did. I mean, the revolution lady, somebody scripted that for her. God bless. Or maybe they came up with it on the spot. Not sure which is worse. Doesn't matter really which is worse. But one after another, Trump's cabinet secretaries bloviated about how America has never been better, all thanks to him. Almost no real business of any kind was actually discussed, really at all. It was basically just a big old group hug for Trump's ego. So whether Trump is trying to become a dictator or not, he is certainly surrounding himself with people who treat him like one. I mean, that appears to be the key to getting a cabinet-level position in the first place, right? Not your qualifications or your experience or what you would even really do in the job, but how much you're willing to say or do whatever it is that Trump wants. which means that anyone within the Trump administration, people working in jobs you've never actually heard of, all have an incentive to abuse their power on Trump's behalf. And that seems to include people like this guy. I mean, this is Bill Pulte, Trump's director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, or FHFA. Now, if you don't know what the FHFA is, and you probably do, but if you don't know, don't worry, you're not alone. It was created in the wake of the 2008 housing crisis to help regulate the mortgage market. It's a very important regulatory agency and is supposed to be focused on big picture stuff, like making sure the home mortgage industry doesn't collapse again, given the impact that could have on millions and millions of Americans. But that's not really how Trump and his handpicked directors see it. I mean, Trump gave that important job to a 37-year-old Nepo baby, whose grandfather founded one of the biggest real estate development companies in the country. Since taking that job, Bill Pulte has made a few MAGA-friendly changes at the housing agency he runs. I mean, did a lot of things that probably Trump and Doge World likes. He fired more than 100 employees. He put a Doge staffer and one of Donald Trump Jr.'s business partners on the board of a major government-run mortgage lender. And he even tried to change federal housing rules to let people secure mortgages using cryptocurrencies, which, of course, is a notoriously volatile thing to do, in the industry, I mean. But mostly, Bill Pulte seems to spend the bulk of his time doing things that have precisely zero, I mean, absolutely nothing to do with his actual job. For instance, he has spent a considerable amount of his time publicly attacking Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. In July alone, Pulte posted or reposted more than 100 missives criticizing the Fed chair. That is in no way in the purview of the FHFA director. No way. No, not in the purview at all. And he even reportedly gave Trump a draft letter firing Jerome Powell, which Trump has, at least for now, declined to use, but we'll see. But that hasn't stopped Bill Pulte from going after Trump's perceived enemies in other ways. I mean, in just the last 2 months, he has used his position in government to accuse several of them of mortgage fraud. Last month, Pulte referred claims of mortgage fraud to the Justice Department about two of Trump's very favorite targets, Senator Adam Schiff and New York Attorney General Letitia James, claiming they listed multiple properties as their primary residences. And needless to say, selectively investigating the president's enemies for potential mortgage fraud is not what the FHFA director is supposed to be spending his time doing, to state the obvious. I mean, as one financial regulations expert told the Washington Post, those investigations would typically be brought by the FHFA's inspector general, not the agency chief. This is like the county sheriff who has his deputies pull over his political opponents every time they drive on the parkway. It's a very astute example, just to stick it in your head. But if you ask Bill Pulte, he says that this is exactly what he was put in the job to do.
This is right in the bullseye of what my job is. I promised before the Senate, before I was confirmed by the Senate, that I would investigate mortgage fraud. And I'm not going to be intimidated by anyone. I'm not going to be intimidated by the media, the politicians. They can say whatever they want. If it's a Republican who's committing mortgage fraud, we're going to look at it. If it's a Democrat, we're going to look at it.
Okay. All right, Bill Pulte. If it's a Republican that's committing mortgage fraud, we're going to look at it. If it's a Democrat, we're going to look at it. That's what he has to say to his critics. Just one big problem with that. Here's the headline from the Associated Press just last month. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, a Senate hopeful, claimed 3 homes as his primary residence. The AP found that Texas's Republican Attorney General and Trump major loyalist Ken Paxton appears to have committed the exact type of mortgage fraud that Bill Pulte is accusing Trump's perceived enemies of committing. But so far, there is no evidence at all that Bill Pulte is investigating Ken Paxton. Of course there's not. So it's pretty